What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Baer here today with a look at the brand new basing line from Games Workshop. This is the Sector Imperialis bases. I've got two of the kits here, and I'll explain. You'll probably catch on why I only have two of the kits here as I get going and start talking about this stuff. So, these are a great product overall, a great product. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is a really cool thing. We've been looking forward to it for about 2 weeks now. The price point, amazing, $33 for both of these actually. And the amount of stuff you get, the intent of this kit here, of course, is to, basically do exactly what they show here. You take these parts and you put them on, existing larger bases, stuff that's, like Dreadnought size bases and up, for the Knights, the Dread Knights, some of the big ovals, now you got these 100 mil ovals, these 80 mil, not ovals, rounds rather, that for like the Doom Crawlers and stuff like Archaon size, so that's the intent, and it's affordable. Only comes in one style right now, but we're hearing that might be, the Age of Sigmar battle realm tiles. They're gonna, they might be waiting on to release those with an impending baseline as well, as soon as the, Age of Sigmar gets its reboot here in the summer. So great price point. I mean, 55 cents each, basically, for these 32 millimeter rounds. I think it breaks down to very similar for some of the ovals in the other oval pack, which I don't have here today. I apologize greatly there. So you can tell, it's true. It's true to the styling. They are basically molded off of the same stuff that came in the Sector Imperialis. Very, very urban warfare. Kind of city fight almost. Kind of feel. They give you a brief like painting guide right here as well. But let's take a look inside the box and see exactly what we get. So here we go. I'll cut one of these ends, I swear. Alright, so you can tell by the packaging, it's all very well done. The new white box design from Games Workshop, which is the opposite. Well, maybe I didn't open these, so I'm pretty sure I did. I'm a monster. I'm such a liar. Gosh. One of these is open. Or it's about to be opened. There we go. Alright. Smell that new plastic goodness. So here are the new sprues. Now, something I want to point out to you, first off, on this box, is this little caveat right here. Manufactured in China and distributed by Games Workshop, UK. Now, keep that in mind as we take a look at these. So there's, they don't come in a bag. They come on a sprue. They have little recesses here in the back that maybe you could use some sort of magnet system. Perhaps, I think what this is an ejection spot for the actual sprues themselves to, kick out of the machine. They have some sort of like pusher thing that pops them out of the machine there. Generally, that's kind of how it works. If you don't have like something here in the middle, there's just like that little nub right there. Now, you get 4 sprues right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all identical, of course. So we'll pull that away. And then you can see on each one, there's supposed to be 33 in here. So you've got 4, 4, 3, 3, and 1. So basically 7, 7, 15 on each one, which is really weird because, oh no, there's 60 in here, excuse me. There's more, they're $33. There's 60 bases in here. So that makes sense, right? It also makes sense on the price point because they're basically making them on a sprue, so you need to crank out as many as you can to make up your costs. Because injection molding, plastic injection molding, it used to be really prohibitively expensive, and that's why you didn't see some of the smaller companies breaking into it. Now they're starting to get into it, and there's a lot of folks out there that say, well, pewter's sliding back in price because China isn't buying up as much of it, etc., etc. I'm not here. I just know what I hear, and I'm just passing along as opinion. But I know that when you do make a commitment on something like this, you do want to sell as many of them as you can, right? It just makes common sense. Now, here's where we run into a little bit of an issue. Yes, there's some definite pros and cons here. Cheap to get, cheap to rebase your armies, way better than the normal standard plastic bases, okay? So, if you're looking to do something a little different for your models, it's great. Now, here's where I have an issue, and it basically comes down to whether Games Workshop either didn't know or didn't care, because something like this is pretty big, and, I don't know how this got by them. But take a look at some of the detail on here. Let me see if I can pull this up to the camera, right? Do you notice anything about these bases just glancing at it? Right here in this detail. For instance, that Aquila right there. Or let's find some skulls. Like that skull right there. Does this look a little flat to you? Because to me, this detail is flat. It's not crisp. It's not what we saw in the White Dwarf. It's not what we saw on the back of the box, for even that matter. This is a different type of plastic. It's definitely not their normal plastic that comes in their kits, their normal multi-part plastic, when you know it's made in China, just because it says right on the box. Now look at the crisp detail up here of the Games Workshop number right there, right? Or the Games Workshop right here. Now that should give you an idea. If they can do it that crisp, why are we not crisp here on this diamond plating? You know, why are we not crisp on these rivets? These rivets are flat and dull and boring to me. You know what I mean? Like these grains of sand are chunky and blocky. They're not grains of sand. You know what I mean? Like this diamond plating right here, it's not as crisp as this. You can tell just looking at it. Now I know it's not. If you don't see that right there, you're like, I don't know, Rob. That looks pretty crisp to me. Okay, sure, I agree. Like I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? So then I pulled up the little bases right here. So let's do an apples to apples comparison with what is in this box right here. This is supposedly what's in the box. This was what the Heavy Metal team painted up ahead of time. Now let's take a look at some of the bases and compare them. So for instance, let's do that one with the skull right there and the little grainy, the grainy skull. So right there, you can see there's the skull, there's the grains of sand. That skull looks like it has definition. This skull is very flat, almost looks like a Terminator stepped on it, I feel like. It doesn't seem to have the same level of detail. You can see right here, this semi-crisp detail is flat, dull, and boring right here. Even right here, you know, where you see that the detail is raised up because they dry brushed, you can tell, I mean, I can rub my finger across it right there, and you can tell that is not the same quality right there. That is dull, flat, and squished. Whereas right here, there's plenty of detail. Let's take a look at this Aquila base right here. Where are you? Aquila base. Here we go. It's a little deep in there. So, well, we'll try it. So there's the Aquilas, okay? And you can see, like when I tilt it right there, I feel like that has some depth to it. You know, that definitely has some depth. Now, when you compare this right here, does not seem to have depth. It looks flat, very shallow, and squished. It does not look like, I can tell you right now, rubbing my finger across it, it does not have that same depth level right there, or that even level of crispness. A little, you know, I feel like this is not the same product. Now I get it, stuff always looks better on the box, etc., etc. But you know, that's a little too much for me, I feel like. Now here is the Sector Imperialis large base kit, and you can see on here, same deal. Very crisp skulls, very crisp Aquilas. Look at the detail, all the wiring, all the rivets and things on this particular piece right here. Very crisp Aquilas again. Very, I mean, for being big, that's still pretty got some detail on that skull right there. Same here, very crisp. All of these got rivets, lots of grain on the concrete, you know. Very crisp iron halo right there. You know, you can see the tank, the inside this manhole cover or whatever it is, you can see the little notches and things, right? Same deal. So this is a 4 sprue kind of set, but 2 of each different sprue, right? Woo, that was brutal. All right, so 2 of each different sprue to, you know, basically let you embellish your larger bases, of course. Now let's take a look at the quality. So I'm going to pull this up to the camera here. Remember, I just showed you this guy right here. All sorts of detail and things on here, right? I mean, look at all that. That's all detail. It's supposed to be like grain or steel or something, right? Here's the piece here. That is literally no detail and completely flat. Same with his robes. I mean, those little arrows, spiky bits, so to speak, flat, squished down. You can barely make out his facial features or the little, you know, leaf thing, motif right there. The Aquila is squished. You know, this is squished right here. His little belt, rope, all of this. I mean, you can definitely tell in this picture that the rivets are squished, and then the diamond plating, you know, squished. You can see it bigger in this because these are actually bigger. Now, there's the grain on these that you expect to see in this that weren't. You can see all the grain in this, but it's still, I mean, you can tell just looking at it. It almost looks like you primed it. And you use too much primer on it, right? Now, I like the selection. Don't get me wrong. The selection of all these parts is great. I mean, you can do all sorts of different things. And let's take a look at that Aquila. That Aquila is barely visible. It's totally squished. Same here. It's just the same piece, like broken up, right? There's that skull that I said looked kind of, you know, for its size, it looked pretty good. There's no skull detail. It's just flat. Boom, right? Same deal. So let's take a look, just for comparison. Remember what I just showed you right there. Here's the guy again. You can clearly make out that Aquila. You can clearly make out, you know, his headdress right here. The skull. These are indeed spiky bits. Look at those rivets. We'll move across here. Diamond plating's good, right? Look at the detail. You can make out the nose. You can make out the eye sockets. Okay? So let's take a look at the other one. We'll go full Monty on this. Now here is the light post, and we've seen this before. This came in a kit before, right? But here's what's kind of disappointing about it. Let me wait for it to get in focus here. Here's what's kind of disappointing about it is it almost looks like they just made a copy of that light post, like literally made a rudimentary copy of it. Because look, it is not the same detail as what we've seen in the same exact bit before, right? Here's some of the sewer grates, right? There's that piece with the little notches. This Aquila actually looks pretty well done right here. It's got that level of detail that you would expect from some of the pictures, right? That actually looks good. Then over here, that diamond plating, you can tell. I mean, you can tell the detail. Like, this is detailed. This is not detailed, I feel like, right? So I'm not going to keep harping on it, but I'm pretty sure you can tell, like, there are pieces on here that are more detailed than other pieces, you know? Like, I feel like that one's actually pretty good right there. Like, credit where credit's due, but then look at this. It's all squished down. So I don't really know what to make out of this, to be quite honest. Like, I can't figure it out personally. Like, you see this, and you see, you know, the White Dwarf article. Where's the White Dwarf? Here's the White Dwarf article, right? On how to paint this stuff. You know, like, look at that detail. That's detailed. We're not seeing that on this stuff here, right? Oh, well, wait. This is these are the crates. Never mind. Not apples to apples. But anyways, you kind of get what I'm saying. So I'm just a little disappointed, to be quite honest. I guess I would have to look at last week's White Dwarf to kind of see all that. But you can definitely tell from the box and the darker plastic here. This is not the same quality that you normally get out of a box of, like, say, Tactical Marines or something like that. It's just, you know, it is what it is. The variety in here is good, and I feel like you do get a really good, you know, kind of, it's an innovative way to make a product, to augment another product. So it's almost like it's an accessory, and they didn't have to keep making all those bases. And you get a lot of parts in here, don't get me wrong. For 33 bucks, this is a good deal. It's almost like a mini kit in itself, to you know, base and do a bunch of different things. But the problem is that I feel like it falls short in the detail department, and it's you know, I'm grasping for words because it's like I'm trying not to be negative, because this is kind of like a positive product for the hobby, but then it's kind of like at Christmas time when you get something and it's not quite the way you saw the commercial on TV, and you're like, oh, it doesn't really do it like that, and then you just kind of, it's like not as cool as you thought it was going to be, and then, you know, then you start looking at it some more and you're like, man, why did they do it this way? Like, did they know? Did they not know? Did they just don't care? Like, I don't know. I'm not them, so I don't know. But I can tell you right now, from my own personal opinion, what is inside of this box is not what's pictured out on the outside of the box, or any of the pictures on their website, or the White Dwarf from last week, or anything like that. These product shots look crisp, look very fresh, and very inviting. What the actual product themselves has fallen short in that department. But yes, they still are a great value for the price. But for me, 40K Rob, you know, Robbie B, 40K fat kid, I want to go up to the buffet and I want some of everything. I'm going to throw my money at Secret Weapon or Elric's Hobbies, who I know, while their bases cost more, they have that crisp detail. I will never be disappointed when I see something on their site and I get it in my hand. It's going to be the same quality. Like, I know that for a fact. And there's obviously much more variety there as well. So I feel like, you know, 2 out of 3 things of this release are good, but depending on who you are, I feel like the third thing that they fell short on is going to be a very big disappointment for a lot of people. And I am disappointed that I have to say that to everybody, and I have to be the bearer of bad news. So my apologies. I'm trying not to be negative, but it's very hard to find the right words in this review when you expect apples and you get oranges, I guess, so to speak. But anyways, don't let me discourage you. If you're looking to rebase your army, it's a great value. It's easy. You just pick it up off your shelf. You don't have to worry about, you know, special ordering things or whatever from different companies that your store might not carry. But just be aware that the quality inside the box isn't exactly what it is on the outside of the box. And that's it for this one, folks.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.